Hello and welcome back to my garage here in Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. As I'm sure you're all aware by now, the Mercedes DLC landed yesterday with absolutely no fanfare whatsoever. And I did have one in here. I had a 500E, which was a customer order. Let's see if there are any here now. No. But after I completed the car that I worked on yesterday, I went to the junkyard several times and came up with 3 cars all at once. Now 2 of these are the new DLC cars. This is a Mercedes 300 SL, which I believe is the gullwing doors. And over here is like a sedan, Mercedes Pagoda W113. And both of these had, this is an i6, and this one over here is, I think, also an i6 M186. These have the same engine? M130, so no. So there we have 2 new DLC cars we can work on. And that over here, this one here is actually something I'm kind of psyched about. This is a McLaren P1. This, of course, is a modded car, but this is like one of the earliest mods I downloaded when I first started playing the game, and this is the first one I have ever seen since I started playing the game. And I, of course, had to buy it. But, yeah. So I'm kind of torn as to which one to actually work on here. But I think what I'm going to do is work on the gullwing over here, because I think this is a really interesting looking car, and I'm excited to see what it turns into when it's nice and cleaned up. So let's start taking stuff off of it. Doesn't look like there's much on the car right now. So it has no fenders or anything. This has 2 ignition coils on the engine. This will be fun. Since this is a brand new engine, I haven't worked on it before. Let's see if we can find the rest of this stuff that we need. Oh, I didn't pay attention. It doesn't look like it actually even has it. What was that? It was air filter air filter i6. Let's look for that. Or sorry, air filter i6. Let's look for that and see if we can find it. Nope, so there's no red air filter for that one. And that will be this, and this, and this. Oh, it has a clip. It has one solitary little clip. I guess it sucks air in through there. Okay, so we can probably look for 300 SL. Wonder what the seats are. Ah, there we go. The seats are nice. The interior is red too. And the mirror is mounted out there on the fender rather than, oh well, it is a gullwing door, so it would go up in the air. Probably makes sense to mount the mirror on the fender where it won't move and have to be readjusted all the time. Passenger side doesn't rate a mirror though, it seems. Little bitty tail lights. I think that's 100% body already. Yep. I don't know if I'm fond of this color. It's like a... I don't know what that is. Part of the air filter system, maybe? I saw that the engine takes 2 coils, and it takes an ignition distributor. No, that's the V8 one. I wonder if it takes the i6 distributor cap because it's a 6-cylinder engine. I'm gonna hope that it does. This i6 is for the straight. This is for the straight 6 i6. Maybe this i6B. I don't know. I better wait until I get into that. Get too far ahead of things and mess everything up. I didn't buy a tank. So this is i6 M186. Nada. So it looks like we're buying regular parts. What is that up there? Front exhaust section. Maybe I can put this on. There it is. Okay, now we can paint the car. I don't think I like this color. Is that the factory color? Yeah, it is. Kind of like a... It's kind of a seafoam green, I guess. I wonder what kind of liveries they have. I don't really like this. I wonder if I can get like a... That's a pretty good green. What I would like to get is like a blue. Kind of a silvery gray. Gotta go all the way down here. What if I take this down to like 40? There. That works for me. This way I can paint the wheels and it won't clash too badly. Yeah, now that's a good looking color. It's not a particularly good looking car, but it is a good color. Nice coil spring rear end. This is good. Easy to assemble. The last few cars I've done have been all suspension arm rear ends. They're a lot more work. I mean, they're satisfying to put together, but God, they're a lot of parts. It looks like these rims are wheels with a hubcap, so I don't know what they'll look like when they're cleaned up. May dismount them and get them on the wheel thing. Get them on the wheel machine, the tire changer. See what they look like. Yeah, that's a hubcap. So there's only 2 bushings to worry about here. That's convenient. And it has disc brakes in the rear. Not sure how old this car. This is a pretty old car, like 50s, I think. Gotta get the springs and the gearbox stuff. And that was an i4 RWD transmission. Yeah, probably not going to be able to repair that. I want to get rid of the rear springs. And that was shock absorber B. All this stuff that's red, it's hardly even worth trying to repair any of it. This is the last of the repairable stuff, whether or not we can get any of it. A lot of times, well, I got it all, except for that one rim. So 300 SL16. And these are 185, 75, 16. Only 24 bucks. That's why I always try to repair those, because I hate just getting scrap value for a transmission. If you can repair it, it's always worth the time. Let's try painting these wheels and see what they look like. Oh yeah, that looks better. Okay, now we can assemble this back end and see what those wheels look like against this paint job. I think it's going to look pretty good. Oh, did I? No, I repaired those. For a second I thought, did I buy the hubs? But then I remembered that I was able to repair them. I like these because you can see the nuts going onto the bolts on the back side of the knuckle. It's just like with the caliper, because you can, if you do it from the back side, you can see the bolts going in. Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, that looks 1,000 times better. That's not where I wanted to send that. Come back over here. What do we have in here? Double wishbone. This is still my favorite thing. The front steering knuckle hanging in the air like this. That front end is pretty much bog standard. Oh, I was afraid that would happen. It's like the other i6. You can't put the front exhaust. You can't put the front exhaust section on with until the engine is done. Looks like this engine is just a block and a crankshaft. Yep. Okay, now we can get our parts together. There'll be a lot more bushings to get this time. I only needed 2 for the back, 12 for the front. What did I do there? Not sure which sway bar it was. All sway bar B. Okay. And I saw the hub cap. Yep. And that should get us down to the suspension arms. Yeah, let's see if we can repair this stuff. Looks like we got just about everything. Not those though. And this was the block 186. Yep. Still got to build the shock absorbers. That's going to be our oil pan, 186. And get pistons and spark plugs while we're at it. Since they've added in this Mercedes stuff, it's shifted everything. It's shifted everything from where I'm used to it being. I keep expecting this crankshaft bearing cap to be here, but it's here now. Let's dismount these tires and see if we can reuse 27% on that rim. Oh, I'm mounting it. No. 38% on that one. That's good. We have a fighting chance of getting both of them back. I think we should get at least one of them for sure. And I can flush these now. And that. Hey, look at that. We got them both. 185, 75, 16. Okay, match the tire size. I decided to go with the sport tire instead of the vintage tire, because the engine is going to be upgraded. I don't know how much. I mean, I don't know. I have no idea what kind of performance increase we're going to get. We'll get something, but there's no telling how the car will be. I mean, there's no telling. Let me rephrase that. We're going to get some kind of increase. I don't think it's going to be a lot. I don't think it's going to be so much that we're going to need to have like slick tires or something. But I think the sport tire would be a better choice than the vintage tire. Yeah, I never really used to bother with painting the tires, but the wheels. But I quite like the chrome. I've done a few cars where the wheel was black, and I did a matte black once on a Lamborghini, like a Aventador, I think it was, because the Aventador was black, and I ended up doing the car in matte black. And it just looked really, really amazing. Matte black car, matte black wheels. So I've started getting more into it than I used to be. I always used to just, well, especially before I started. I mean, I played the game for quite a while before I started doing videos on it, and I did a lot of cars that I just bought from the junkyard, repaired and sold, and I didn't paint like any of them. But now I'm looking at, especially the several cars that I have in my collection, that only a couple of them have been painted, since they're cars that I added to my collection since I started doing that. And now I've got to start pulling cars back out and at least chroming the rims so that it'll look, because now that I see what they look like when they're done that way, I can almost not stand to look at them without at least having been chromed. I think I did the Chiron that I kept. I think I gave it I think I did black chrome on those rims, because I painted the car red. Because like pretty much most of the cars that I kept for myself are red. There's a couple that aren't, but most of them are red. And black and red like always goes together well. I think the only ones that aren't are like, well, the Skyline, the R34 Skyline that I kept, because it was one of the first, because it was like the first car that I ever bought from the junkyard and kept for my own collection. And that car was green, and the factory color was like a lime green, like an electric lime green, and I kept it for nostalgia's sake. But everything since then I've done in red. Okay. Make sure we don't have any suspension parts floating around. Got some extra rollers for some reason. I probably hit the button a few too many times. But that's okay. Pretty much always use rollers. This thing is really looking nice now, compared to what it looked like before. So this will be all kinds of fun, since this is literally the first time I've built this engine. So I don't know anything more about it than any of you do, except anybody who may have watched a video that somebody else did already. I can see I need an alternator. I6 water pump. What is that over there? Mechanical fuel injection driver. That's new. I'm surprised it just uses a generic I6 water pump. I don't know what pulleys it's going to want. I imagine there's an I6. It's going to just use the I6 crankshaft pulley. Water pump pulley. What is that? Mechanical fuel injection. There it is right there. It's an interesting apparatus. Now, in some ways, this is just like a normal i6 engine, but it's got a few new doodads on it. I imagine the head is going to be different too. And I wonder what is this I mean, I don't know if this is dual overhead cam or single overhead cam or what. I mean, the standard i6 engine is a dual overhead cam engine. Is this one of those ones that goes in? It doesn't go in the car sideways, does it? I don't remember. Surely not. Maybe it goes into the car sideways in another... No, it must. Look at that. Look at the silhouette. It definitely goes in the car at an angle. Okay, so cylinder head, I6. There's like a timing cover or something that's going to go in there. And that... I can't tell. Okay, let's find it. No. So we don't get it here. And it was the 186, this one here. For a second there, I was afraid that it was going to take like 12 spark plugs or something. Exhaust manifold, I'm M186. Rocker arm, M186. It looks like there's 3 of them. I'm going to check this real quick. I don't think there is anything, but look for M186 here, not a... So we come here. There's the manifold and rocker arm. Gonna need the timing chain for sure, timing cover. What else? A camshaft, presumably. Head cover. Exhaust manifold cover. There's gotta be a camshaft. Oh, wow, look at that. What is that, intake manifold? Oh, and there's going to be a throttle. Intake manifold, like, always has a throttle on it. That's pretty slick. Look at the way the exhaust manifold only has 2 bolts on either end, but the intake manifold overlaps it and bolts it in. That's pretty slick. I saw these valves sticking up and I was like, oh my god, there's rocker arms. And sure enough, there are. Camshaft. Are there caps? There are. What is that? Camshaft bearing. And there are 4 of them. Cam gear I6. Now I look at these and I wonder how on earth you get them on. Because it looks like, I mean, that looks like a solid ring. But you couldn't possibly slide that over the camshaft with the little, whatever you call these. I know there's a word for them, but it's escaping me at the moment. But I can't imagine how you would fit that over that. So it needs, yeah, it needs its own wires. 186 wires. What the heck? Oh, there it is. Oh look, there's two sprockets. Oh, and there's that throttle. I should get that. These are M130 belt. There's got to be a belt that goes on this thing. Once the pulley is on. Okay, so it's just the I6 serpentine belt. Was it I6B? No, it's not. Belt B I6. And I just drove all the way out. But that means it's going to be this one and this one. And radiator fan B. Okay, that looks like it's done. That all seems kind of unnecessary. I like this thing here on the side though. This fuel injection bit. This is pretty neat. Mechanical fuel injection driver. So that like is geared right off the crankshaft, it looks like. The engine does go in there at an angle. Puts all those manifold pipes on top. And I bet it takes a, I hope it doesn't, does it take a starter V8? No, regular starter. I didn't actually use any of those rollers that I had. I thought for sure I'd use a roller at least. So now we can put that on. It's just like the other that's just like the standard i6. You can't put the front exhaust section on until the engine is in. I bet I'm going to have to lower the car to put the starter in, though. Yep, sure enough. Mechanically, it's really interesting. Yeah, I mean it's basically built off the standard i6 with additional unique stuff attached to it, but it's definitely interesting. And it's like the first time I've built a new engine of any kind in quite a while, so that's definitely worth it. So let's test the thing now. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Well, that's good enough. Make sure we're 100% like we should be. And we can go and test the car now. Okay, so 250. So that means we'll probably get up over, that means we'll probably get 320 or so. I'm going to be kind of conservative. I mean, the other i6 we can get like 340 out of, I think. So let's see what happens here. Yeah, pardon me. Yeah, that's about what I thought. I use push to talk, and so that if I cough or something, it doesn't go into the mic. I noticed watching my previous video that I failed to do that, and I hope that I have not done it again. I apologize if that got by. Anyway, where were we? 334. So we have gone up by 84 horsepower, gain of 33%. I mean, for a car like this, how old is this thing anyway? I think I'm gonna have to look it up. I think I read something in the DLC description that it was like the 1956 or something like that. Not really sure. I'm looking forward to opening the door, though. And there it is, the gullwing door. Definitely old. I love the red, though. I love the red interior. That makes me happy. I wish you could close the door from the inside, though. So this is definitely old school, though. What has it got? Speedometer? Tachometer? I presume there's fuel, like oil pressure and temperature. Clock over there. It looks like air vents. I don't see a radio. That would suck. I gotta have a radio. What are these crossbars here? I mean, is that part of, or no, is that part of the, is that part of the structure or what? Or is that something that's clipping through? I don't know. That's weird. Alright, now it's time to take it for a drive and see what we got. I think these tires will be good enough. I don't think we've turned it into a huge speed demon. So we should be alright. Which one was it? This one. Okay, here we are. Look at that, I just noticed the clock down there says it's almost exactly 4 o'clock. Let's take a look at this thing. Oh, it's pretty. Yeah, that blue I think is really good. I like how you can see right through the grill there. Yes, that's a good blue. And the chrome sets it off nicely. I wonder if you can chrome the bumpers too. I might have to try that. Maybe I can buy a bumper and see if I can chrome it out as well. Alright, let's see how fast this thing goes. It's tracking straight. Or no, we're drifting. Let's try and stay on the black. Looks so bizarre going down the track with nobody in it. Are we tracking straight? I think we are. 148. Can we get to 150? Yes. Like exactly 150 right there at the line. So yeah, that's really good. I'm pleased with that. I mean, it's a good looking car, and it goes respectively fast for a car of its age. Definitely like it. Okay, now we get to find out how much this thing is worth, because I have studiously avoided looking at the price. What is this little black dot? I just noticed that. So it is worth just over 100,000. 111. Yeah, that's pretty good. I want to try this real quick. Just want to see if it's possible to paint the bumper. It is. Can I make it chrome? I wonder if it'll look different. I can't tell if it looks... Yeah, I can't tell if it looks any different from this. I think the shininess might be a tiny bit more pronounced. But I can't tell that it looks any different than the back bumper. Okay, well, it's time to sell the car. Let's get it out of here. I might keep one of these one day, but this one I want to sell. So $111,000 works for me. Okay, and that will wrap this one up. So next time we'll probably go ahead and do this car, or the McLaren. I don't know. We'll have to flip a coin. But either way, we have cars to work on. So that will go ahead and put paid to this episode. So if you made it this far, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video. And even though we didn't go to the junkyard, I'm going to call it a junkyard adventure anyway. I hope you enjoyed our time here in the garage. And I hope to see you again for our next car project. So on that note, bye for now.